Here we are with another Facebook Live. No, Friday Night Live. September 29th, 2023. Another Facebook Live. Turn this off here. Let's see if we can manage a crash-free night tonight. Made some changes. Hope everybody's doing amazing. We had a beautiful, beautiful, warm, sunny day. It was raining last night, but the day was beautiful. And with the autumn has moved in, we got starting to get the colors, the beautiful colors happening. Life is full of colors. We can embrace all the colors, color therapy, just being in nature. You see the beauty in the colors. Every color has a different tone and affects us differently. That's why there's color therapy. Fire red, orange. You see a lot of the yogis wearing that beautiful orange color. You have the purity of white and the black, absence of color. So many beautiful, beautiful colors. Got some wild flowers. I don't know if they're going to grow by planting some foxglove. This, nature of colors is just awesome. Violet. I just got some beautiful colors, nature. It's just beautiful therapy, just watching colors. Columbine. It's, I love wildflowers. I got two of them the same. And, rose premiere. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, just beautiful. There's so many species of rose. Awesome mountain. The annuals, they grow every year, right? Wild plants and just continuously reproduce on their own. Whereas the annuals, you have to plant them every year. And you got to come and think, how did nature bring forth all this beautiful wonders in nature, all the plant kingdom for thousands and thousands, maybe, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years. And here we are today. You need to continuously plant things because the strains have gotten so weak, they can't self-reproduce. I had the experience of that spinach from Italy. My friend's father had brought many years ago, many, many years ago. And, it would only grow, 1.5, 2 feet high. Beautiful spinach. And then we started giving it ocean water. And it went crazy, 12 feet high. And the seeds fall off in the fall and it plants itself. Next spring, you'll see it coming up. It reverted back to its wild strain by feeding it diluted ocean water. How amazing is that? Prior to that, they didn't have that self-reproducing spinach prior to us giving it ocean water. And then voila, the magic of the creator happened. I was able to go back to blueprint. You know, in Italy, I've seen them. I've seen that spinach plant that grows tall. But over here, it for some reason it got stunted, and not until we gave it that ocean water, the diluted ocean water, it reverted back. It's just amazing that we're able to do that, right? So, you know, we really don't know what's in the plant or what's supposed to, or how the plant is supposed to actually be until we start, you know, feeding it ocean water so it can revert back to wherever it was. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. That was the one that we experienced that completely changed. But everything we grew, we just get flavors, and the aromas were, and the colors, the depths of colors, amazing. So this is what we're, you know, we're doing this through a fasting lifestyle, like the blueprint. This is how amazing our creator was in designing us. He put a mechanism that, you know, you stop everything and the physicality can revert back to its blueprint. Just like the plant did. You know, if the plants, if you don't water it and has no soil, most plants can't survive. There are a few breatharian plants. Orchids, I think, are breatharian, and vanilla, I believe, is a type of orchid. It's a breatharian plant, meaning it doesn't need soil root system like most other plants. Aloe is pretty resilient. It can go without water for a long time. Long time. No, here we go. It's still crashing. Mm. Mm. So yeah, aloe is a beautiful plant where it can stay without watering for a long time. It can grow in the desert type climate. You know, there's few plants that can grow in that type of climate. There's few plants that can grow along the shores of the seas and the oceans, can tolerate straight ocean water. Most plants cannot that are inland. If you give them straight ocean water, you will kill them. But if you dilute the ocean water, they love it. So the parts per million average of ocean water is 35,000 parts per million is the average from oceans and seas. Plants can tolerate, pretty much any plant can tolerate about 2,000 parts per million. In hydroponics, some you would have to go lower, like basil's delicate in hydroponics. But in soil, the 2,000, I've used it. They're fine. They're fine. So most plants can handle 1 to 2,000 parts per million, no problem. Few plants can tolerate stronger, like up to 4,000. Like tomatoes. Tomatoes is one that can handle up to 35 to about 4,000. But you don't need to go that strong to get the amazing results. So yeah, I remember a friend of mine, he had taken a plant out of the garbage that his girlfriend threw out. It basically looked like it was dead. All the leaves fell off and everything. And he replanted it and he nurtured it and he started rubbing straight, concentrated ocean water on the stems of the bark of the plant. I can't remember the name of the plant. And it came back and it bloomed beautifully after. It was amazing to watch. So never give up. Something looks like it's dead, no life, there's always a chance. If you give it love, care, and tend to it, it's gonna have a great chance to recover. And that's the same as with us humans. They found, people in hospitals, the ones that get the most visits heal the quickest. Emotion, volition and emotion is seed of all. Seed of all. That's the key. Key for us to restore our health. We need that love and support, just like plants. The ones that get the most love and support and attended to, they do much better than the other ones. There's many studies you can go see about plants. The words, Dr. Emoto's test with the rice. One you ignore, one you give it love, and the other you give it hate. Night and day different in results. So everything is energy. Energy. And stagnation is disease. It's just obstructions in the way of allowing energy flow. So if we can remove the obstructions, guess what? It's restored. The function is restored. Isn't that amazing? It's remarkable, especially after what we've witnessed and seen over the last 8+ years in this realm of MFS. How much beautiful transformations. Alistair, how you doing? It's been a while. Long time. I'm going to have to say hi and good night. It's after 2 a.m. in the Ireland, I understand. And I've been shoveling concrete all day. Wow. Peeled on a few grapes today. Isn't that amazing? You think it's all the minerals and all in the seawater? Yeah. And also all the bacteria. Is seawater the tincture of everything on land? Need to go to sleep, so I'll listen to the recording. How do our bodies do with diluted seawater? Bathing in or drinking a diluted version of it, or this thing is quite often Celtic sea salt. Good to see and hear you. Nice to see you again, Alistair. Yeah, that's we've talked about this in the past. Just always we repeat things for New Year's. Renee Quintum did extensive research on diluted ocean water, introducing it into the veins of dogs. It's what he experimented with, stray dogs. And he found their health improved dramatically. When he diluted it with distilled water, they died. And he used spring water to dilute it to the concentration of blood, which is about a quarter strength, and they thrived. And then he was able to completely transfuse the dog's blood equal to its weight with ocean water. Diluted ocean water was diluted with spring water. And the dogs thrived. They thrived. So there's companies selling Quinton way of diluting the ocean water in a certain time of the year when the planktons bloom. and with certain temperature and with spring water and so on. You have to. We have the link on our website. There's a company we found in France, because France is where he was from, and there's a statue of him. He's a hero. He saved thousands and thousands and thousands of people with this therapy of just injecting some ocean water once a week, I think it was, or twice a week. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read that stuff. And the people were reversing all kinds of diseases, but that was in the late 1800s, early 1900s. We are in a much more toxic state than we ever were in those days. So there's, what was working, 40, 50 years ago or longer, it doesn't seem to be working because of the level of obstructions we are at right now. We've always said, if you want to consume salt, forget about the crystal salts. They don't have any force left in them. It's stripped. Once you remove the water, there's no more bacteria, and all the gases are gone, which are elements part of the structure of ocean water and seawater. So you can never restore that by putting water or even spring water to make it seawater again. Can't happen, because the life force is gone. We cannot create life. Only the creator does it through nature. So we've always said, if you want to use salt, you can spray a little bit of clean source ocean water on your foods. That your body handles that better, I found, than any of the dried crystal salts. And flavor is amazing, way better than dried crystal salts. So we use that occasionally. You want to get some flavor, you can even spray it on your fruit, and increases the flavor of the fruit. Watermelon tastes amazing sprayed on. But we have to remember, this. We've learned through our experiences, decades, that the key is subtraction, not addition. But we can use some of these things, because not nobody, but most people are not gonna completely stop eating and consuming, going through a complete breatharian plasma type lifestyle. So, we want flavors and so on and so forth. So diluted ocean water, clean source would be ideal, best way to consume salts. You can read about testimonials of people consuming the quinton. They're actually, drinking the vials. They're getting better performances, athletes, and so on and so forth. So you can read about that. Do we advocate it? If you want to use it occasionally, it's fine. If you're going to use it regularly, yeah, I don't know about that, but we're going to go back to building obstructions in all senses of the way. Now, you can call it the tincture of land, because if you dilute it and feed it to plants, the plants just love it. And the flavors, the aromas, and the colors are way more intense. So yeah, it's a tincture of the land. You can say that for the plants. There's also people that had claims of drinking straight ocean water, or were they diluting it? I can't remember if they were diluting it. They were drinking, I can't remember, it was a liter of straight ocean water or diluted ocean water. And they were getting amazing results. So, what is the ocean? What is salt? It's very corrosive. And if you're bathing in the ocean, and you have a cut, what happens? You heal much quicker. So there's something in there, which is the life force of the ocean water. It's not so much so the minerals that we believe, and so on and so forth. I believe it's the life force of the ocean water as a whole homeopathic system, the minerals, the gases, all the elements, all the bacteria, and the life force itself of the oceans and the sea. So all that is able to heal. I remember my dad used to love the ocean because, yeah, he would notice that cuts and everything would heal much quicker. So yeah, drinking. I remember a guy who was drinking, started drinking the ocean water. We had the concentrated stuff. He was doing, I think, a tablespoon a day, and he had all gray hair, and all his hair color came back. So we've seen stuff like that. The body was able to utilize, purge something out, and utilize whatever was in the ocean water to restore the color of his hair. Does it happen to everybody? And no, for me, it happened by drinking wheatgrass grown with ocean water. And in those days, I was doing a lot of wheatgrass. My hair was turning gray, and then I started drinking the wheatgrass grown in ocean water. My hair color was starting to come back. So here we go again with this another crash. So yeah, putting it through the plants is the best way. Dried crystal salts are inorganic. I don't believe the living ocean water, sea waters are inorganic because they have a life force attached to them. So we have to separate the dried crystals from that. And you cannot make the life force from the dried crystals. Like you can feed plants a little bit of dried crystals and they're going to benefit. If you put too much, you're going to kill them. It's to get rid of weeds in the cracks of the concrete slabs. I just put some, sodium chloride. Kills them. I put a whole bunch there, a little pile around the plant, and it doesn't grow back. It'll grow somewhere else. You got to keep at it because seeds keep flying in nature continuously. Nature's continuously producing. So, yeah, is it the minerals? It's the whole shebang. The whole shebang. So bathing in it, wonderful. We do baths with salts, with clay, baking soda. These are all elements. But bathing in the sea, if anybody's got skin issues, jump in the sea for an hour a day. If you're near the sea, jump in the sea. No ifs, ands, or buts. Jump in the sea. Psoriasis, eczema, jump in the sea. You're going to benefit from that. You will benefit. So there's the field interaction when we're bathing in the sea. We're not actually consuming it. We're getting the field interaction from that life force of the sea. Now, you got to remember, I say clean source. What we found is the oceans and seas push the garbage to the shorelines. So to get a clean source 10 to 20 miles from the shoreline. Further out you go, the better. So if you have access to a fisherman or fishermen, you can ask them to, get a couple of pails for you when they go out fishing, and give them a few bucks for it, since they're going out anyways. Saying, "Do you mind if you collect some ocean water for me?" Give them the pails, and ask them to suck it up, with whatever hose length they have. A friend of mine went out on a fisherman's boat several years ago, and there's another friend of mine became a friend, and they went out and I don't know how far, I can't remember. He told me they were quite out, and they started doing some tests on different depths, and he had a hose. I don't know, maybe a few hundred feet, 200-300 feet, or something like that. And they said when they let it all out, it's not going to go all the way down straight because you're moving, so you got to consider the angle and everything. But anyway, when they let it all out and they got that water came up, everybody was in awe. They said it looked crystalline in structure when they sucked it from the much deeper depth. They were all in awe. So yeah, it's amazing. And Ireland Sea is not that far from where we live, 15 miles away. So I would try to get it as often as I can. If it wasn't so damn cold, I would be in it for longer. I agree, there's definitely more than just salt thing. You usually just got short sound. So there's grounding aspect. Yep, a grounding guaranteed. Breathing in the air. Yep. And absorbing the seawater through the skin, and then there's the cold water effect and moving lymph effects. Yeah. Hello, Gino. What is your opinion? Better to take last before dry fast, tea and tinctures, or bubble? We usually start our dry with the last thing we consume is the bubble, the bubbly, the MFS bubbly. And when we break the fast, we end the fast, the dry fast, with the bubbly. Right? As we're moving in and we coming out of the dry, bubbly. Simple to remember. So back to the sea. Yeah, there's much we don't know, but try and make sure you get it far away from the shoreline. That's the key. And the shores, unless it's a pristine area for many, many miles, you're still going to have contamination on the shores. Still going to have contamination. So, feed it to your plants, dilute it, feed it to your plants, and you will see. They love it foliarly, they love it on the roots, they love it every which way. You just have to dilute it. So 35,000 parts per million. Divide that by, what was it, 20 to 1 or something? 25 to 30 to 1 to get 1 to 2,000 parts. $25, $30 to 1, something around there. If you have a TDS meter, you can measure it so you're more accurate in the ballpark. You don't want to burn your plants. But I wouldn't go anywhere more than 2,000, and you're safe with every plant in the ground outside. If you're doing hydroponics, you need to know what you're doing. It's a different scenario, right? Like I said, I know basil, I think you can go maximum, I think it was 700-800 parts per million in hydroponics, from my memory. But most plants can tolerate between 1 to 2,000 very easily in soil or hydroponics. But if you're doing hydroponics, they need a little bit of NPK and so on and so forth, because of the weakness of the strains through the hybridization over the years from we mankind. I don't like the word. They like to use the word human. Also, I think after a big storm or even during a storm, the sea will be full of seaweed soup, which I'm sure is full of all sorts of goodness. Yeah, for the soil. Yeah, the people who use seaweed, right? They ferment it, and they just throw the seaweed on their gardens. That works. You can collect seaweed. Seaweed's different than the seawater. right? Seaweed's the plant that grows in the sea. It's full of different elements, but it's got the organic structure of the plant, and that has to break down, and so on and so forth. You can use both. You can use both. You can make a fermented tea from the seaweed, and then mix in a little bit of ocean water. See what happens. You know, people are doing that. There's people selling different seaweed formulas for agriculture out there. There's many different companies out there. We were just selling straight ocean water, concentrated. Only thing we removed was H2O from the ocean water, so it would concentrate it. And I still have gallons from 2004 or 5, and they haven't changed. Plastic gallons has not changed. Pretty soon I'll be using them up, but it has not changed. That's how many years? It's a long time, right? It's 20 years, you know, close to 20 years, 19, 20 years. Has not changed, has not changed. So when you grab it from a good source, harvest it, you do not have to worry about it going bad. Beautiful stuff. Our creator is perfection. Just because we don't understand it does not mean there's no wisdom and intelligence in everything around us. It's mankind is the disaster that destroys everything. The creator, nature, everything works perfectly, harmoniously. Has been for however long, since the beginning of time. And it keeps working perfectly. Any more questions, or we'll call it a night? I want to get to sleep early tonight. If there's any more questions, otherwise we will say good night. Thank you guys and gals for joining. It's always a pleasure and blast to have you join, you know, just to focus on living and loving it. Simple lifestyle, the art of subtraction. Simple lifestyle. Use the information, the concepts that we've shared for the last 8+ years, and you'll see things in your life be much easier and better. You're going to feel better, have more energy, less sleep, enjoy life much more. Keep it simple. If you want to eat obstructively, choice is always yours. With that said, thank you for joining. We'll see you back on the page and Wednesday Facebook Live. I should be able to make it. Ciao, ciao. We'll send plaf to everybody. Keep that plasma love always flowing.